It's Friday morning and the weekend's here, and I've been working like a dog. I just can't wait to hit that lake, reel me in a hog. So I call up the boss, said, listen, hoss, I ain't making it to the station. It's a mighty fine day and I'm itching to play. I'm gonna start my fishucation.
Welcome to Fishucation. Whether you're a pro or an average angler, this is the show where we bring back to the basics. Our host, Robin Amia, has been around the fishing industry for his entire life, with a multitude of experiences from backwood creeks to the Great Lakes, coast to coast, amateur to pro fishing. The man to bring you the information to all your fishucation needs. And here's your host.
Welcome to Fishucation. Today we've got this week's guest is Dave Lafontaine from the Temiskaming Smallmouth Bass Circuit up in northeastern Ontario. And Dave, not only works with his tournament circuit and all the anglers that fish in it, but Dave, there's another side to it that you love getting out with kids and you love getting out just fishing for some walleye on your own, because I know you like to eat fish just as much as you like to catch and release them. So how's the walleye season been so far this year?
How you doing this morning, Robin?
Good.
The walleye fishing's been really good this year. It was late coming, but once you came, the walleye turned on there about 3 weeks ago, and they're just hitting like crazy right now.
Okay, that's awesome. So you've been getting them on you've been catching them in shallow or deeper water, or give us a little bit of a rundown of how you've been catching them.
Well, most of the first part of the season, the walleye were right up. They'd finished. They'd been moving out back from their spawning and moving out into the lake edges, and they were slow at first, but then all of a sudden, as soon as the water started to warm up a little bit, they turned right on. They were all just off the edges of the banks and shoals and near islands, and they were hitting on mainly we were hitting them on jigs and worms, just jigging the bottom really, but you had to go really, really slow. But lately they picked up, and now they're just fighting. When you get one, you think it's like a bass. Yesterday we were out and we were watching them come up there, and they were just hitting them just under the surface.
Okay, so you've been using jigs with night crawlers then?
That's pretty well what we do all the time. When we're on the smaller lakes, we use worms, but you got to use the full worm. That's a big thing on about a 1/8 jig, and you just jig it slow off bottom there, and then as you're raising it up, they'll follow you right up and just slam it. But are they ever fighting hard?
Okay, and what are you getting them in, like 10 feet or less, or 15 feet or less?
Right now, they seem to be around anywhere from the 4 to 10 feet mark. Okay. But today we're gonna move on out to Lake Temiskaming. Once we move to Lake Temiskaming, then it'll be trolling for sure with crankbaits and.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you'll have to give some of those Strike Pro baits that you picked up this year. You have to give them a try.
Actually, we were already using some of the Strike Pro baits, and we were twitching them just under the water.
Yeah.
The white ones and the pickerel were just slamming them. I was surprised at how good they worked. They really seemed to go after them and hit them really hard. But you had to be using the white, and you were twitching it just under the water. Temiskaming is going to be a different story. We're going to try going out there with. We're going to try the Blue Strike Pros deep diving crankbaits about 12 feet down and see how they work today here.
Yeah. Okay. No, that sounds awesome. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your tournament circuit, because we definitely got to give that a bit of a plug here. Now, you're running 8 tournament plus the Classic this year, which you downsized from last year. Last year you had quite a few more, and you're doing you're alternating lakes. You've got like 16 or 17 lakes that you'll be bouncing back and forth, and you run it all the way from Kirkland Lake down to south of North Bay. And so you get a good mixture of anglers in there. What's the general consensus feedback from the anglers that are fishing the circuit this year? Are they saying so far that the fish are hitting slow, or they're starting off really good and strong? What do you get? What kind of feedback are you getting?
Well, we got, because of the way we work our circuit, last year we had like 14 tournaments, and we found out it was too much for the guys to travel all over the place. So this year we cut back to 8 tournaments plus the Classic to make it better for the anglers, make it less costly for them.
Okay.
But the boys are finding at the first part of the year here, the bass have finished their spawn, and then our series starts earlier than any other series in Canada. There's none start as early as us. So our first two or three tournaments are really early, so the bass have just finished spawning, and they're really thin and they're light, so they were working out really well. well, but now as we move in farther into the season here, the bass will get bigger and they'll get heavier, which the guys are kind of excited about because they always like those big bass. But this year we're going to be back up north here. Our classic, we alternate our classic from down south to the bottom end of our series up to the north end, and this year we're going to be in the north end up to Larder Lake, and Larder Lake is just loaded with fish. Like if you can't catch 50 fish a day there, 50 bass a day, you'd have to be almost sleeping because they are everywhere. And the big thing about it, the main part about it is that the bass are almost all the same size, so there's a really good chance for anybody to win the tournament.
Yeah, I know we fished the first one there, and the weights were like so close. It was just like tenths of an ounce between spots. They all look like they were all clones or the same year class. I know there's bigger fish out there, but on the average, they all seem to be about the same size, which makes it good for the competitive level because really it's a guessing game, and tenths of an ounce are going to make the difference when the guys.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Dave. Well, we're gonna have to cut it short. We've surpassed our 6 minutes here, but that's fine because it's all good, and we've got a lot of listeners out there that enjoy hearing about pleasure fishing as well as tournament fishing. So we're gonna cut it short. I really want to thank you for having you on, and we'll definitely have you back on again, and we'll get some fish stories, and maybe next time we can talk a little bit about boat safety. I know you've got a pretty good story there about boat safety, but that's for another time, and that's just
yeah, for sure.
That's just to pique a little bit of interest so that people will listen to it next time. Anyways, that's Dave Lafontaine from Temiskaming Smallmouth Bass Series in northeastern Ontario, and you can go check them out at www.Temiskaming Smallmouth Bass on the web. And Dave's got all kinds of wonderful stories, lots of photos, lots of good kids content, and it's a wonderful circuit to go out and fish. So really appreciate having you on, Dave, and good luck to you out on the water today.
Okay, thanks, Robin. It's too bad you have to be there in the office, but we'll try and let some of the fish go for you.
Okay, awesome. Thanks a lot, Dave, and we'll be talking to you later.
Okay, Robin. Bye-bye now.
Okay, bye.
Eagle Claw fish hooks. An American tradition and excellence that generations of fishermen have known to be the world's finest for over 60 years. That same technology goes into every Eagle Claw rod from the handle to the tip, and we make a rod for every fishing need. While you're not apt to ever have a problem with an Eagle Claw rod, you can be sure that we'll be there if you do. We're Eagle Claw of Denver. Eagle Claw rods are available at better sporting goods dealers worldwide.
The answer is revealed throughout evolution. Bass instinctively and aggressively attack egg-robbing turtles. The question is, what took so long to make the lure? Bombshell Turtle, your missing link to catching more and bigger fish. The Bombshell Turtle is available in 3-inch size and 12 natural colors.
New generation anglers
live on the water.
They want lures that entice strikes
and last all day just like they do.
Because one more cast is never the last.
The feeling of the hook set, day or night, open or hard water. Nugent lures catch fish forever.
Visit Nugent.com and hook one on today.
Mona's Fish on Bait and Tackle, located in Elk Lake, Ontario, featuring the best quality in live bait and tackle. Give them a call at 1-705-678-1155. Again, that's Mona's Fish on Bait and Tackle, 1-705-678-1155 in Elk Lake, Ontario.
Your outdoor lifestyle brand.
Sticks and stones. 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 Sticks and stones.
Sticks and stones. Sticks and stones.
Sticks and stones.
Sticks and stones.
Sticks and stones. Sticks and stones. Sticks and stones.
Sticks and stones.
Sticks and stones. Sticks and stones. Sticks and stones. Sticks and stones. Sticks and stones. Sticks and stones. Sticks and stones. Sticks and stones. Sticks and stones.
Sticksandstones.ca.
New generation anglers
live on the water.
They want lures that entice strikes
and last all day just like they do.
Because one more cast is never the last.
The feeling of the hook set, day or night, open or hard water. Nugent Lures catch fish forever.
Visit Nugent.com. Hook one on today.
At Windridge American Cocker Spaniels, we strive for healthy, happy, well-rounded cockers in mind, body, and soul. Beauty, health, type, and brains in a complete package. Our cockers are versatile to be in the field picking up birds and in the ring picking up blue ribbons. Windridge is home to the number 2 cocker puppy and the number 2 sporting dog puppy for the year 2012. Windridge is a mother-daughter team consisting of Lisa and Natasha Amiot, located in southern Ontario. We are a small kennel producing a litter every couple of years. All our puppies are raised in the house with kids and other animals for a well-socialized puppy with wonderful temperaments that any family can live with. Our dogs are pets first and foremost, always in our house, on our lap, or under our foot. Showing them to the championship is a bonus and a sport we love. Quality before quantity, always. You can contact us at 705-622-3697 or look us up on the web at wrcockers.com.
Hi folks, welcome back to Fishucation, and we're going to bring you Angler's Insight, brought to you by River Run Resort in Temiskaming, Ontario, on Highway 11, not far from Kirkland Lake, Ontario. There you can get home-cooked meals. They've got a bar, wonderful outdoor patio. They're catered to snowmobilers, boaters, campers. They've got some rooms for rent and a wonderful lake that's stocked up with walleye, northern pike, and smallmouth bass that are second to none for northern lakes. Just come on in and ask for Shirley, and she'll make you as welcome as she would her own family. Just remember, that's River Runs Resort in Temiskaming, Ontario. Welcome to Fishucation. Today we got a really special guest, Marty Tryon from Raven Beach Campground in Larder Lake, and he's on the beautiful shores of Larder Lake. And Marty has been around there for longer than a chicken has feathers, and he's going to give us a bit of a redneck twist on what's going on around the lake. I know you got walleye and lake trout and northern pike and some perch and smallmouth bass. What's the season been like so far?
It's been good. They're catching, they had a weigh-in there at 7 pounds and change for lake trout, 16 pounds for pickerel, and I've seen a 7-pound walleye come out of the lake so far this year.
So is there any particular baits or techniques that the guys are using? I know you're right there at the campground, so not only when you get out, but when others get out, what are they telling you they're using, and how are they catching fish?
They're using go-getters with minnows, plastic baits or rubber baits, just red and white Williams, silver Williams, blue and silver for trout, and they're still fishing for minnows or for pickerel or trolling along the shoreline. And bass, you can catch them anywhere on the lake as long as you're close to shore.
What are some of your favorite ways of catching fish out there?
I use downrigger and troll deep. Just basically with a Williams or strike crow lures and go from there.
You're usually out on a pontoon boat with downriggers, and when it gets windy, it's pretty hard to control, isn't it?
Yeah, because I got a 9-horse trolling motor on the back of the pontoon boat. So if it gets real windy, I just fire up the big motor and get straightened out and get up the lake and go with the wind.
And when you're running your downriggers, at what depth are you running at?
Depends on what the fish finder says. I can start at 35 feet, and I go down till I'm almost on the bottom.
When you say the bottom, how deep is that?
Well, the lake runs anywhere from 70 to 130 feet, so you just kind of trolled it wherever your favorite spot is.
You guys are going to be hosting a bass tournament there in the near future. I know the Lions Club has their annual Lake Trout Derby. How many people do you think are out there on the lake at any given time?
On the weekends, there's usually anywhere from 10 to 40 boats. During the week, it's quite quiet. It depends on what side of the lake you're on. You could be down on this end of the lake, and there could be 30 boats. You could be on the other side and see 3, or it could be in reverse.
Okay. So actually, the fishing pressure is not that high on that lake for the size of the lake then, and so that means you're going to get good quality fish out of there.
Yeah. There's approximately 100 or 98 to 100 miles of shoreline. So you got South Arm, you got the Northwest Arm, you got the Second Narrows, Islands, the big part of the lake down on this end by the campground. So you're looking at 6 miles one way, almost 20 miles the other way, and if you go down to the Larder River, you're looking